Everyone who's anybody, whether they enjoy the genre of hip-hop music or not, has heard about the latest situation involving rapper Kanye West, who was said to have had some type of a personal issue, that led to them believing that he needed to receive some type of medical evaluation that turned out to be what is being reported as allegedly a 5150 type of hold. A 5150 hold in California is a psychiatric hold because something has reached a point where they believe that either you are a danger to yourself or you are a danger to others, or in some instances, other people have endangered you so much that you have to be removed from society in order to be able to get a hold of your own psychology, because other people's behaviors towards people can break their psychology. As a matter of fact, most of the time when people have their psychology broken, it's a result of something going on that is a portion, at least, of what other people may be subjecting them to or contributing to. The psychiatric issues of today are very serious. I know from a lot of experience, I know from things that were attempted towards me. I know what it's like from the perspective of being an artist. I know what it's like from the perspective of being a public figure. I know what it's like from the perspective of being the very best at something. Now, I'm not going to make excuses for some of the things that Kanye West has done to contribute to the way some people feel about him in terms of his public image. That's something that he has to take personal responsibility for on his own. But when it comes to him as a person, as a human being, as an individual, something that's larger than all of this stuff that we get to do when we live life, I care about that. Because some kind of way, in spite of the things that some people disagree with or agree with to the opposite, this guy has managed to garner a pretty incredible following and impacted culture in a way that very few people have, coming from the kind of demographic that he comes from. As a matter of fact, he achieved so much in that genre that I believe he started letting it get to his head, making himself believe that he was larger than he actually is. Now, before I continue on, I want to tell you something as listeners, and I want to tell Kanye West something as an artist. When you start using an artistic platform and you start provoking, agitating, and aggravating certain kinds of issues that become political, religious, or what have you, you might have it coming. When you start trying to make yourself seem like you're Jesus, when you start comparing yourself to soldiers who are in the military, who have sacrificed their entire living life and their family to go represent the freedom that you get to express yourself, you might have it coming. When you make irresponsible use of your freedom of your speech, that can be consequential. And at the same time, you have all of these people that are rallying for you, saying, go ahead, go on. And you put yourself in the position of being the public martyr through your platform, meaning you're the one that's going to be the individual that's responsible for riling a lot of people up, altering their psychology in opposition to something that people want to be kind of like the standard, and you don't do that correctly, and then you take a genre that already has a stigma associated with it, people are going to clamp down on you. Music has always been wonderful for everybody. No matter what the genre is, there's something beautiful that can be found in it that represents all human beings that live in some kind of way. And once people determine what best fits their personality, their genre, what part of popular culture they're a part of, or what have you, it can really be profoundly influential on the way people live, the way people think, what their lifestyle becomes, and what have you. Some music is good for society, and some music is bad for society. And it's not really something for everybody to try to determine, because to each his own. Everybody gets to pick in their freedom of choice and expression, freedom of thought, freedom of speech, what they think best serves, what they believe is the thing that is valuable to them in terms of their entertainment. But people have to understand something. In spite of the fact that artists have incredible power to influence some things, the irresponsible use of your art, and I've talked about this before, can be consequential not just to the artist, but to others. I think people can handle anything if they know what they're getting, if they understand what might be coming. When you hit people in a way that they don't understand before they're in a position to be able to understand, even if they disagree with it, it can cause some problems. Because if you're doing something that influences somebody's beliefs, their comfort, their spirituality, the way their children behave, the way their children are taught, what they see on TV, what they listen to, and what have you, these things can have a profound impact in the kind of society that we're in now. Because there's so much information coming in that's not even useful, that's negative, that's actually hurtful, with a pleasurable frosting on it. Let me explain what that means. That means that something that's actually very bad for you, something that's very bad for society, can be made to look incredible, and it can even feel incredible as it destroys you. Pleasure can be intoxicating. That's why people use drugs a lot. That's why people have a lot of sex kind of casually with no regard for whether or not they're really being satisfied or pleasured. They're doing it on the basis that they believe that something about doing that gives them some type of a social status. Even if it wasn't good for them, even if it wasn't healthy for them, even if it was bad for them, if it makes them look like they're somebody important and they can say, well, yeah, I did that, they're doing it. And it's not just happening in hip hop. It's happening in the church. It's happening in politics. It's happening in workplaces. All kinds of stuff is going on, and it's been going on. Now, I'm qualified to speak because as a person who's been a part of the arts all of my life, I know what kinds of things artists face. And the people that I'm most disappointed in right now are not the people that are being so hard on Kanye West. I'm disappointed in the artists themselves for what they have caused, what they have been contributing to, and how they don't support one another. Because nobody endangers an artist more than other artists, because we have a culture of theft right now going on, where everybody's robbing everybody for their concepts, stealing everybody's ideas, piggybacking off of everybody's success and achievement, stealing from one another.